Young Philly was one of the biggest creators in the UK. He amassed nearly 2 million subscribers on his personal YouTube channel. He consistently featured in videos with millions of views, collaborating with some of the biggest names. He put out a music catalogue and was even able to bring said music catalogue on tour. But it was on tour that the man's career would be put on hold. He was arrested for sexual assault, he was charged with an array of offences, and we've barely heard from him since. So what's actually going to happen with Young Philly?
Accused of raping and assaulting a woman in his Perth hotel room after a gig last September.
Make some noise for me one time.
He's pleaded not guilty to 8 charges, including assault, choking and rape.
Born Andres Felipe Valencia Barrientos in Cali, Colombia, Young Philly moved to London at just age 2 and grew up in the southeast of the city. He quickly assimilated into English culture, started speaking the language, and even began immersing himself in English football, choosing to support London-based club Crystal Palace. In fact, Philly loved football so much that he had dreams and aspirations to become a professional footballer. At age 16, he would briefly move back to his homeland of Colombia to play for a team in Barranquilla, but he would eventually quit.
I was born in Colombia, and sadly enough, I don't know a lot about Colombia, but from what I do know, it's a happy place. Colombia's a mad, happy, vibrant place. Couple stray dogs on the road, you know how it gets. When I think about my culture, I'm most proud of the vibe that the country gives off, the people have, and the food. My mum's always knew that eventually she'd come out of the struggle she was in. But yeah, man, I'd say God's had our back always. Like, even when we didn't have a lot, we're still eating every day. Do you get what I'm saying? There's still blessings shining upon us, so yeah, man, God.
2013 is the year Philly would actually start his online career. Over the next few years, he started to consistently upload skit videos, Q&A style videos. You know, the sort of content he was still kind of making towards the back end of his career, just not like half as insufferable at this point. After years of making this sort of content, his breakthrough would come in 2017 when he started collaborating with a good friend of his, Chunkz, and together they made a duo that people thought was relatable. Not necessarily to say that Philly wasn't building a fan base on his own, he certainly was, but collaborating with Chunkz, who had a much more established viewer base at the time, just gave Philly that boost that he needed. Really quickly, if you are enjoying the video and you wouldn't mind subscribing, that would honestly mean the world to me. I try my best to get out documentaries like this every single week, so if that's something that you'd be interested in, please, once again, if you're not subscribed, go down there and subscribe. Thank you. So now Philly's starting to get popular, and it's this opportunity that he uses to provide a market for one of his other passions, music. I never sat down and said I want to be a YouTuber. I just did a couple videos on my phone, uploaded on my social media platforms, and everyone laughed, so I carried on. I wrote bars before I ever made my first YouTube video. Now, straight off the bat, Young Philly's music had a market. His sound was this unique blend of UK grime and hip hop with a Latin American tango. Take your time on me, baby. Philly was gaining attention on YouTube, but his major breakout came through Foot Asylum. He became a regular face on their viral series, Does the Shoe Fit?, which consistently pulled in millions of views per episode.
That's so patronising. Look, I just put that hand on your arm. That is patronising.
We're here with Foot Asylum at Wingstop London.
Yes, if you don't know, then get to know. The mandem are single. So Foot Asylum have lined up a series of speed dates.
At the end of the speed dates, the girls will pick their favourite. The person with the most points will win.
His energy and confidence quickly made him a fan favourite, helping Foot Asylum's YouTube channel grow to over 1.6 million subscribers. This platform put Philly in front of a massive audience and turned him from a content creator into a personality people recognize instantly. He then made the massive leap from YouTube to television, appearing on UK entertainment like BBC, Channel 4, ITV and Sky. He proved that he wasn't just an internet personality, but he was also this confident presenter who could handle live audiences. That led to Philly landing hosting roles at cultural events like the Mobile Awards and appearances tied to the Brits. He was now placed firmly in the UK entertainment mainstream. Alongside TV and presenting, Young Philly also made his mark in music. While it's never really been his main focus, his releases still pulled in some serious numbers. Songs like Grey became breakouts, racking up over 80 million streams on Spotify, proving to his audience that he was also competent at music. His more recent track, Tempted, passed 25 million streams on Spotify. And say what you want about Philly, That song is fire. Although many people hated him at this time, people thought he was loud and obnoxious, there was no denying that Young Philly was pretty much a B-list celebrity at this point in the UK. And that pretty much takes us up to today. And I know why you clicked on this video. We know there were some serious allegations made against Young Philly. Before going any further, it's important to be clear and responsible here. What follows is a summary of publicly reported allegations and court proceedings. This is an ongoing case, and Young Philly has pleaded not guilty. Nothing here is a verdict, and there's been a lot of hearsay about what's going to happen next for him, so I've just broken down everything we know about the situation. On October 10th, 2024, the UK would wake up to news that shook the nation. Young Philly was on tour in Australia, and the alleged incident occurred after a performance on the 27th of September in Perth. He had performed at a nightclub called Bar 1 in Hillary's, a coastal suburb in the northern part of the city. Police and court documents say CCTV footage allegedly shows Young Philly and the woman leaving the Bar 1 nightclub after his performance before going to the hotel. So we do know that Philly and the woman were definitely in contact that night. They did go back to the hotel together. Several days later, on October 8th, 2024, Young Philly was arrested in Brisbane and extradited to Perth in relation to the alleged incident. He was formally charged with multiple serious offences, including sexual penetration without consent, assault occasioning bodily harm, and impeding another person's breathing by applying pressure to the neck. Before we continue, it's important that you understand what charged means. Being charged does not necessarily mean that he did it. It's the police officially accusing you of committing these acts, and you'll have to appear before the courts. Which, to be honest, it typically does mean they have some evidence. Like, most countries have like a conviction rate upon charging of like 70 to 80%, which means people who are accused of crimes are guilty 70 to 80% of the time. On the 10th of October 2024, Young Philly appeared at Perth Magistrates Court, where he was granted bail under strict conditions. These conditions included remaining in the states of Western Australia, surrendering his passport, not contacting the complainant, and not commenting publicly on the case, which is probably why he hasn't come out and said anything about it. You know, if he was innocent, you'd think you want to come out and clear his name, but he can't. In March 2025, Young Philly formally entered a not guilty plea to the charges. So, to simplify, he's been officially accused by the police of committing these crimes, and he's pled not guilty, which means he's saying he didn't do it. In June of 2025, 2 new charges were put against Young Philly, both being counts of sexual penetration without consent. Now, these new charges are still relating assumably to the same incident, and while on bail, he faced a separate reckless driving offense after being caught significantly over the speed limit. He pleaded guilty to that charge, which resulted in a fine, a driving ban, and his vehicle being impounded, but that matter is completely legally separate from the assault case. In September 2025, a court in Western Australia amended his bail conditions so he was allowed to fly home to the UK, under conditions that he returns to Australia to submit his passport by January 7, 2026. So since September, he has been in the UK, and he spent a period of time with his family and resumed some social media activity on Snapchat. Philly's trial is set for July 20th, 2026. This is where, if all goes to plan, we will find out if he is convicted of these crimes or not. So till then, till July, he will likely remain out under investigation. He's posting actively on Snapchat, but you probably won't see him make a return to YouTube or anything like that. I just want to say personally, if he's found guilty of these charges, it will feel like a betrayal because this is someone I've been watching since I was young, but either way, he deserves to be buried under the jail. But this is pretty much all we know about the Young Philly situation at the minute.
Papa put him to bed because I'm like that. Sorry, Nala. It's okay, boy.
It's hard work.
God, I think I finally put him to sleep.